Hi guys, it's Sarah Lynn from the Mama Sagas, and today I wanted to share with you some of the tips that I found have been helpful in raising a shy child. I have a shy child, and what I've noticed and what the research has also suggested is that it's really not about breaking your child of the habit of being shy. It's more about instilling confidence from an internal source. So in order to do that, we really have to affirm who we are, or who they are, excuse me. So that's the first tip, is to make sure that you are not looking at their shyness as a character flaw, but instead recognizing them for the beauty that they do bring to the world. The famed pediatrician Dr. Sears has said that you should hug your quiet child because it's them that will make the world a more gentle place. The next tip is to think about the language that we're using when we reference that child, especially if they're present. So if you're saying things like, "Oh, she's shy," as if it's an apology, that will make them feel like there's something wrong with them, right? So instead, I encourage you to look for synonyms to describe that child. She's reserved, or she's quiet, or she's peaceful, or she's cautious. All of those things are much more positive in their connotation than using shy as an excuse. The third thing I will say is that you want to be careful not to force them past their social boundaries. In terms of real boundaries. So for instance, don't make them hug a stranger or hug an adult that they don't want to hug. Don't make them sing out loud if they don't want to sing out loud. Try to avoid putting them on the spot. With a child who's more reserved, this only backfires because it then erodes the trust that they have for you. So see them, recognize that they're struggling, and try not to put them in situations where they will fail, because that will disintegrate the confidence rather than build it up. The fourth thing I will say is to model outgoing behavior. So if you're doing school pickup and drop off, talk to the teacher casually, make small talk with the other parents, talk to the postman or the waitress, and include your child in those conversations. You don't want to force them to talk if they don't want to, but make sure you're referencing your child, acknowledging that they're present, that they're there with you, so that they start to learn the patterns of these kind of interactions, because they do have patterns and they're predictable. And some of this learning how to be more confident is just learning those patterns. The other thing I will say is, look for the social situations that are going to produce a very positive outcome. So for instance, if you're going to take dinner over to your neighbors, for instance, that is going to be well received and your neighbors will be very happy and honored. So that's a win-win situation. If you do something like that with your child, they will see that going out of your way to do something for someone will make a positive reaction and will help them develop some more confidence as well. Next, remember that just because your child has a hard time finding her voice doesn't mean she doesn't have a voice. So as an outgoing parent with a shy child, it can be really hard to restrain ourselves from talking for the child. So if you go to the doctor's office, for instance, and the pediatrician asks her how she's feeling, resist the urge to jump in. Give her the chance to speak for herself. You can help if needed, but always give them the chance to speak. And then to that end, provide easy, safe social situations to start teaching those skills of interacting with other people. So if you're at a restaurant, have your child order their food. And for me, with my daughter, I started with just the beverage. She ordered her milk. And then it became eventually, a year later, it became her ordering her full meal off the menu. Allow your child to go pay for something on their own so that they're talking to the clerk. Those are the kind of safe social situations that will teach them how to develop that confidence. And then finally, really put some structure around social situations. I find that this can be really helpful with my shy child. So for instance, if we're going somewhere new, I tell her where we're going, when we're going, who we're going with, who's going to be there, what to expect when they're there, how long we're going to stay, what we'll do afterwards. I give her the whole play-by-play before we even get out of the car, so that she knows what to expect and she's more confident in how things play out. Throwing, really big wrenches in things, that can be a little bit tricky for a shy child. Give them a plan for what they can expect. And then the other thing I will say is you might want to consider getting to a social event early, so you're the first ones there. your child can get their bearings. Your child can start to feel a little bit more comfortable before they have to walk into a room where all eyes are on them. So I hope that those tips for instilling confidence in your shy child have been helpful for you today. And come back, come subscribe to our channel. I'm going to be giving you more tips and tricks and sharing with you all of the stuff that I've learned, as well as all the things I've learned from other parents. And so I hope you'll subscribe and join us on YouTube.